Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. And thank you for the follow, Kev. I was wondering where you'd been this entire time. Wow. Good morning, Kev. Let's say hi to everybody, huh? Good morning, Maury. Good morning, Aaron. I'm happy you're back from Mexico, and I'm sorry about the shit that happened at the border. Hello, Gloam Boy. Temper, yes, we did some marble racing. JC, good to see ya. And Blood Orange, hi, hi. Good morning, everyone. Hydrate already? Come on. Show a little respect. Show a little decorum. Idiot. Fine. Fine. I have my... Hold on. Hold on. I have water and I have iced coffee. What's going to count? What's going to count as hydration? I think the iced coffee. Delicious. Delicious and dehydrating. Isn't that fun? Isn't that neat? Okay, gang, today we are playing Vampyr. This is our third time playing the game today. What flavor of coffee? Iced. It's iced coffee. That's the flavor. It's coffee plus ice. Need I elaborate? Water! Like always, if you manage to hydrate me enough that I run out of coffee, I will be forced to switch to the water. Can you tell I'm American? Can you tell I'm from the USA that I'm so averse to drinking water? Yeah, gang, today we're going to be playing some more Vampyr. I don't remember specifically where we were at. I believe last time we fought a hot wolfman, huh? We defeated a wolfman. We beat him to fucking death in the sewers. The accent gave it away? I bet. Did you get coffee from a cafe too, you American? No. I got the coffee from a Keurig machine in the lobby of a building. And that is, I think, very American. I didn't make my own. I didn't get it from a cafe. I got it from a little hermetically sealed pod in a branded machine that will only operate if it detects the brand logo on the pod. And if it doesn't detect that, it will not operate. It's like, sorry. Another hydrate. All right, Kev, I'm going for another coffee. Delicious. Incredible. Gang, we're playing Vampyr. We're playing this DILF who is not really my type, but he is objectively a DILF, and we're trying to fucking kill people. But again, what's cool about Vampyr is that it is mechanically incentivizing me to get to know people, to get intimate with them, to make them trust me, and then kill them. It's mechanically incentivizing me to do that. And that's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. I love doing that. I do wish I wasn't playing a weak, can't touch sunlight, can't eat garlic vampire, but, you know, not every vampire can be me. Let me get this fucking thing on the screen. Go to gaming. Oh, fuck, I need to tell the source to switch to looking at this instead of Oblivion. A Bratpire. That's right! And people love me for that. Vampyr. Oh, and of course, I gotta get closer. I gotta show you my pretty face. Be my only. Nay. Okay, that's where I clip. Yeah, let's get closer. We gotta turn on the fucking breezy. All right, Maury. All right, fine. Okay. You want to spend 5,000 dosages? Okay. That's your funeral. Here you go. Until the next ad break. Are you happy? Are you happy, you perverse dogs? I love you for the blood bag that I shall steal. No, this is for me. Hey, you know what? You're welcome to try it, loser. Come get me. Okay, so let me turn the fucking sound on this bad boy. Aha. Yeah, loser. Come on. I'll fight you. And I'll win. God, I feel like K-Bonk had an update because those have so much more velocity now. Did you see it snapping my pose? That was great. I mean, it's... Are you done? Huh? Are you done disrespecting me? I'm trying to show you a fun video game and you're being a little rascal. Ah! Okay, I hate this song. Let's go. Stop bullying. Yeah, I'm just a little guy. I'm just a little guy and you throw things at me? At me? Kurwa mać. Hi, Okay. Come on. Video game load in. We're good? Okay. What the hell were we even doing? Trying to remember the controls. We fight in front of O'Malley's noon today. All right, fucking loser. I have my spells. I have my nasty little spells that my demon daddy gave me. What do you got, huh, cat boy? Okay, we gotta go to Whitechapel. That's for specifically the quest of that, When are you speaking Finnish in stream so I can judge your pronunciation? You know what? Maury, you've been such a good boy. We aren't even that deep into the game yet. Let's fucking do it. I'm gonna Google some Google Translate. I'm gonna listen to it. I'm gonna see if I can drop it, okay? Just for you. Idioti. Idioti. Why does it sound Italian? Idioti. Perché Pronounce it like it's Japanese. Idioti. How about this one? Diperus. Huh? Diperus? Let me ask you this, Maury. Is Finnish a language where the emphasis matters a lot in a word? Satan. I love that her Japanese went full anime girl. Nandesu ka? Whenever I think I'd say something in Japanese, my brain goes to like the sort of like, so anime. A lot of anime likes to Finnish is pronounced extremely similar to Japanese. Interesting. I hadn't considered. Anime likes to do this funny thing where they will have some like mob boss or like gangsters, like basically extras that are meant to be there for the pretty teenager to kill in some cool way that's epic. And the way that those guys always talk is like, ha, nandesu ka yo? You know, like they really like just drag out all of their shit and like and I love it. I love that kind of performance so much. It's so charming to me. No, like, you have a good one. Thank you. Goons, the words you're looking for. I'm not looking for the word goons because that feels so specifically New York old cartoon, right? Because like you say a goon, and like obviously the modern sort of thing is like, oh man, I'm gonna goon, and I hate that. Like that's boring. That's lame. But I like the classic. I like the classic like goon from an old cartoon where it was like,
Oh, boss, I didn't mean it, boss. Oh, come on, boss. Oh, get him. Oh, get him. Rock him and I'll suck him and I'll knock him out and I'll put him in the river.
you know, like that's a really good, like, classic cartoon goon, and I love it. Okay, Mickey Mouse. No, Mickey Mouse is a bit broader. Oh boy, you listen here, pal. You know, Mickey always sounds like he's gearing up for something, right? Am I upsetting you? We're here to play a vampire game, but now it's time for Dove Impressions. We're gonna rename the stream to Dove Does a Bunch of Impressions. Okay. So we were tracking, right? Reach the pharmacy, or find the... Oh, where's my money, bitch? Yeah, classic Mickey. He said that. One little girl's Chinese tingle. That's the South Park Mickey. I used to be a fan of South Park. None of us can be perfect. I don't just have sex. I for yuck. Oh man, I haven't done a goofy in years. Ugh, I really need to pick that back up. And don't even ask me to do a Donald. I prefer to keep my sinuses intact. Let me see here. What the hell were we even doing? It's locked.
Peter, it's locked. Now, Peter, I can't have you running around looking in containers for random junk again. Peter! Ah, come on, Lois.
No, I can't do a Peter Griffin. I can't get there. Because Peter Griffin is not Peter Griffin is not a very dramatic voice. It's just very specific. Is Blackmail and Whitechapel the main quest? Is that the main quest? Because when we tried to run over there, we got our asses handed to us vis-a-vis not being strong. Is it the main quest? There's John. I got the unfair advantage of having the right accent for the Arnold or Doofenshmirtz impressions. Barry the Platypus! I think I could, with some work, get a good Doofenshmirtz going, but, like, it's interesting because, like, he's so shrill and yet so comprehensible. Interesting. So, like... I'm just trying to determine what the main quest is, and I oh, you know what? I bet it's always on the screen, and if I tracked either of these, it would be in addition to... I also gotta give Oswald a headache cure when I get the chance. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. God, everyone's yapping. That's right, we just talked to her. Okay, I'm piecing it together. Got the unfair advantage to having a first language that will get me canceled for doing impressions. Oh, damn. Oh, that sucks. John, take me with you. I'm gone with the day. I know the feeling, I really do. The ground is crumbling from under you. Oh, John, take me with you. John, take me with you. To the pharmacy. Hello. Oh, ooh. Idiot. Thank you for singing me, Lisa. You're welcome, doggy. You're all wonderful little dogs until you disobey, and then I will kill you. I arrive and the boy's already stripped. It's a good day. The dogs will be fighting who gets to go to the pharmacy with stuff. Yeah, whoever gets to the front door first and puts the leash on themselves gets to go to the pharmacy with me. And the rest of you have to fight for dinner. Don't worry, Kev. I know you're a cat, but at the same time, if you are in my chat, you are a worthless dog who must learn to obey. Huh? I want to kill these dudes, but also I want to look around. Is that a thing? Is looking around a thing? This game has not given me much enthusiasm for exploration yet, but I feel that it could. I obey to my chromosomes. Your chromosomes don't mean shit to me, dog. Obey. Kev, kneel before me. Accept my fangs in your throat, or die. Hold on, is that gamer paint? That's not gamer paint. Come. Why losers coming in my chat?
It's one of them.
Yay, sip. Ugh, fire, ugh. Okay. They can also close distances pretty well. Oh, a hydrate. I'm sipping my coffee right now, don't worry. There we go. Idiot! Idiot! Does it have soy sauce in it? Yes, it does. Not soy milk. No, it has soy sauce. Kev, you don't know. I actually recommend putting soy sauce in coffee. This is a callback to an older piece of advice I gave people. If you were around for earlier streams, you would be in the loop on that. But instead, you're a bad dog. Who does not obey. But why? Why what?
It's locked, all right.
It's locked, all right. You know, I've had a suspicion, and yeah, it's locked, all right. Why soy sauce and coffee? Because I told you so. Fuck the police. I ain't a cop. I'm a fucking brat. And brats are meant to be obeyed.
Get in with us, Freddy. We found.
I'll do it again.
Die, vermin.
Gonna try soy sauce and coffee in next stream. Absolutely, I recommend it. On camera, great. So my actual recommendation: you make your coffee and just put a few drops of soy sauce in. Not a lot. It's just there for salinity and a little bit of a fermented taste. That's it. And it's nice. Hi, Kirza. Wait a minute, Kev, you stream? Hello? I didn't know. Are you a VTuber, Kev? I feel that I am East Asian. I'm aware of how to use soy sauce. Yeah, but you seem bewildered by how to do it in coffee, so like... Oh, it's just right down the road. Almost had that. Whoa, whoa, whoa! He's going full Assassin's Creed on my ass. Okay, okay. Heh. Which throws the goat in this game when it comes to mouthfeel? I wouldn't know. I haven't been playing this very far. I get distracted a lot by people questioning me. I'm 8 hours into the game plus some change, and I'll tell you what, I haven't tasted a lot of boys. Which is unfortunate, because that's what boys are for. Is this not the pharmacy? This is the pharmacy. Oh, it's down. This game looks like VTMB, but somehow jank and more under budget. Listen, this one obviously pulls a lot of influence from VTMB, and it has some systems mechanics to it that I do think are quite good. But so far, it does lack that, I want to say, that oppressive depth that World of Darkness can convey very quickly. And you know what this is? It's because right now this is a city in the middle of a disaster, whereas VTMB and World of Darkness more broadly is that World of Darkness is a political horror, and vampires are all about politics and machinations and scheming and covenants and deceptions, and that's a really fun world that draws you in. Whereas Vampyr here is more about being a wild animal in a city that is devolving into a war zone against a disease. This honestly feels more like Infamous than VTM. I am schooled, bro. I played a lot of VTMB, and I've run a few Chronicles of Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition, one to completion. It's a lovely system. I do love that system. I'm pretty well versed on the lore. I know some of the deep lore. My experience of World of Darkness is Hunter the Parenting. The Hunter games are pretty cool. They're not really my speed. I feel that World of Darkness does... Oh shit, oh shit, hold on. Whoa, 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 hold on. Okay, cool. Don't parry my fucking bonk, idiot. What's your choice of vamp? I love playing Tremere. I love playing Tremere. So fun. I love playing it in VTM Bloodlines, and I love playing it in the TTRPG itself. Of course, Tremere. Hey, I know what I like. I like that every other vampire clan hates them. Including other Tremere. Whoa! There we go. Hi, Vital. Oh, and good night, Maury. Fuck. Just kill him. My mentally ill ass vibes with Malkavians. Malkavians are wonderful, but I do feel that they, unfortunately, in their presentation and design, invite a lot of toxicity from a player at the table. In a way that, like, is not the player's fault. I really do blame Malkavian as a character creation choice for encouraging behaviors that make the game less fun for a whole table, unless the player really understands what they're doing. I'll do it again. Oh, these guys are way too high level for me. Okay, just you. Get away, come on. Okay, good. They do make great narrative characters, though. Oh, when I was running a Chronicle, I loved using Malkavians as storyteller PCs. They're really good to fill out a world with. It's just whenever I have a player who wants to play Malkavian, I don't say yes unless I really do trust this individual to know what they're doing. Before we continue with this, an ad break is coming, so I'm going to switch this into break mode, and I'll see you in a bit. I love the synths in that track so much. Welcome back from the break, everyone. Hi. The breezy has run out. I'm clothed again. Idiots. Okay, we just saved a loser through this gate. Temper, what the fuck, man? All right, we're breezy till the next ad break. Wow. You know what? Fine. I'll even take the bandages off. Twitch is gonna be so mad that there are boy nipples on TV. Fucking Temper. Nice burp, dude.
Are you all right, sir? What are you doing in a place like this?
I'm not sure that's any of your business.
I hope you realize that staying here will put your life at great risk.
Pah! I'm not afraid of these guards of Priwen, or whatever these thugs call themselves. I can still kick some respect into those youngsters.
Damn, I love. All right.
Referring to them, but are you really after these men? Why?
They took my boy.
My boy.
No news since he joined that crazy gang. So I decided to come and find him myself, to get some answers.
I see.
Me when they take my boy.
As I said, your life is at risk if you stay here. And I'm not referring to the gangs either. You should leave, sir.
Well, this part of town used to be nicer, let's say. Perhaps you're right. This isn't the best way to save Andrew.
Me when they take my boy. They took my boy! Just gonna do a little adjustment in OBS. Feel the game is slightly loud. So let's just turn it down. Cool. Alright. 2 more hints until you're at the maximum harvestability. SpongeBob, me boy! Okay, we're back. We're back here. We need a fatigue treatment for Dyson Delaney. You blew my mind. Oh, just a second. I was wondering why I can't see shit, because there's a light on behind me that's causing crazy glare. I'm gonna leave you with my inanimate body. Be normal about it, okay? I had a single command issued to you, and already you're being disrespectful. As a young lord, my life is so hard. My life is so hard. Something isn't right here. Hold on. While we're halted, let's just... Yeah, okay, cool. Your default is disrespectful. Well, we're going to beat that out of you. Chat, shrimp this fool. I said shrimp him. Sorry, just to hold. I actually just realized I'm unsure. Kev, are you a he, him? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. Then we can proceed to dunk on you. Shrimp him. He, they. That's fine. Yeah. If there was a she pronoun in there, I would have to start showing you a modicum of respect. But no, we're still good. You had shrimp for lunch yesterday? Good. Did you hear that belch? Did you guys hear that belch from, like, stage left? What the hell was that? I'm taking a breath and I'm readying myself to read this letter, and then I hear just a fucking gnarly-ass belch in my left ear. The hell is that? There it is again! What the fuck? Who's the belcher? Who's the belcher of Whitechapel? God, stop! Hold on.
There is
No.
a name engraved under the blood on the back of the case. Jack Gillingham. Maybe I should return this watch to his family.
I just need to find out who the fuck the belcher is. I can't read that letter with the belcher. Oh god, but if I go hunt him down, I'm gonna forget that I have this letter. Fuck it. I'm gonna have to read the letter and just deal with the belcher. God, what was it even called? Is it just bloody letter? Yeah, okay. Dear Mother, whatever happens to me, always remember that your son loves you. I know you did not always approve of the way I chose to live my life, but I won't change. I was born and raised in this part of town, and I just can't stand what is happening to my neighborhood. To people we know. I recently made a terrible decision. I decided to strike back against the tyranny of a few. I know that they will retaliate, but I'm ready for whatever comes. Thanks to you. I've always loved to read. Now that I'm about to take action, I can only quote Etienne de la Boétie. I'll have to find out later. I can only quote Etienne. They only seem tall because we're on our knees. I won't kneel anymore, Mother. I intend to stand straight, whatever the cost. Goodbye, my beloved mother. Jack. American moment. Hey, that's a French-looking name. I don't think anyone has to know how to pronounce a French name. I want to say Betty. That looks right. I know how to pronounce a lot of shit. French? I'm not going to give them the effort. You know, because here's the thing. You know how YouTubers will be like, Antoine de la blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. I hate that bit. If you made a whole video, you can Google how to say a name. I was about to fucking get this guy. Oh, he's the belcher! Are you the belcher? Are you the belcher of Whitechapel? Come on. I bet you're the belcher. If you're the belcher, I'm gonna fucking hit you. Okay, maybe he's not. Maybe he's not the belcher. But we gotta keep our ear out. If I find out who the belcher is, they're getting an elbow to the fucking jaw. I'm not even gonna pronounce this for a name. I can look up exactly. Kill, death, meme, slash. Like it's one thing if they like look it up and they try their best and they can't, right? And they're like, I'm sorry, I tried my best. But if they're like, I'm not even gonna, I hate that shit. Catch a toe, claw to the ball. Correct. When I was running that VTM Chronicle, one of my players was a Polish fellow, and he had an OC in there, like his player character, who had a Polish name, and I practiced and practiced and practiced trying to pronounce that name right, because I wasn't gonna fucking disrespect his blorbo like that. All right, and I still can't say it perfectly, but Eustache, right, or Eustache, right? I can't say that fluidly, but he appreciated the effort, and I think that's all that. Like, as long as people appreciate that I'm putting in a sincere effort, I don't mind. You know, I'm gonna keep trying. I draw the line at Krzyv. No, hold on. I can figure that out. Krzywidzis. Krzywidzis. It's hard to say, but I know how I'm supposed to say it. According to my Polish friend, yeah.
Hello again, Mr. Blight. I'm happy to see Mr. Thatcher is safe for now.
I'm eternally grateful, Doctor. We were total strangers and you helped us anyway. Can't thank you enough, sir.
Let's do a medical checkup on him.
Medical attention, sir.
No thanks, sir. Unless you're able to get rid of every rat in London.
Krzywidzis. Krzywidzis. Yeah, okay, I see it. The emphasis really helps. Krzywidzis. Yeah. Yeah, hey, listen, I was studying Polish on Duolingo for a few years, and I only stopped when they pivoted to AI and started feeding me misinformation. If my ass can learn to pronounce that, others can try to do other names as well. Yeah, if I ever feel the need to try to learn to pronounce that, I will Google it instead of not trying. I am not going to try it now because, frankly, I don't know what language you speak, and I don't know what language that is. So I have no frame of reference for half of those. Hi, Eve. Welcome in.
What caused your phobia of rats, Newton?
It happened last year following an artillery attack.
I
I was trapped for 2 days in a hole under 2 dead soldiers.
There
There were rats.
Okay.
Go on.
They started eating me as soon as I dozed. Gnawing at my ears, my fingers.
Oh, this guy is hot lore.
I couldn't move. Couldn't call for help.
I see.
No, you don't. You have no idea what it is to wake up buried under bodies. Fucking vermin eating your flesh. Oswald. He found me and saved me.
That's a really good fucking backstory, dude. That's a little bit horny. To be people can't usually say Reykjavik. I hope I said that right. I only realized now that I've only ever read that. Is it Reykjavik? Go to Pembroke.
You are always welcome at the Pembroke Hospital. As a former officer, I'll be honored to welcome a fellow veteran.
I'm not giving up on bringing Oswald back to the hospital. I just need to convince him that he needs some help.
Perhaps he needs to reach that decision by himself.
Could you speak to him? He doesn't usually listen to doctors, but perhaps because you've been through it, you can talk him round.
Tell me about the war.
What can you tell me about the war, Mr. Blight? If you want to speak about it, of course.
War was... well, you know, sir. The stench of death everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Your mates lying bleeding in the mud. Just praying to make it through and get home. Bloody nightmare.
I think that could have been a little more horny.
I fought in France, too. I served as a field surgeon, but it was not uncommon to repel an assault, especially at night.
Yeah. The first time I was wounded, I had to protect the infirmary from hostiles.
Ah.
Twice.
Ooh. World War I is rarely horny. Ha 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 ha. My VTuber lore would disagree.
Did you know Oswald Thatcher before the war?
No. We met in the battlefield. I think we're in the same boat to France. We've stuck together ever since.
Why do you stay here now that Mr. Thatcher's back?
It's complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Since the war, Oswald's been really nervous with the idea of entering any hospital. And me, I've got my own issues.
Can you speak about them?
Rats, sir. Even seeing one, they turn me. Just want to run.
Mm-hmm.
It's that fear that stopped me from going after Oswald when he left.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Man, I'm short 3 hints on him. Staring at the Great Andrew Circus. I presume you watched Death Watch. You presume incorrectly. What is that? Is it good? Okay, I need to get Oswald a headache treatment. I don't think I have the recipe for that yet.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself.
It's a straight-to-DVD World War I horror? Oh, that sounds good.
Do you feel any better now?
Yes, this neighborhood may stink of dog shit and reek of piss, but to me it smells like the purest mountain air.
Can you pronounce Surin? Is it not Surin? Suren? No? Anglicize it for me, will ya? Give me the pinyin. Is it Suren? Su? Is the slashed O an Give me the pinyin. That's right, motherfucker. Can you tell I took a Mandarin? Also, a movie that you're seeing watch I can only recommend is Sinners. I've been seeing a lot of people hype up Sinners. I wish it was a genre that I usually cared about. Words I never would have had from an American. Give me the pinyin. Dway! Personal questions.
Do you want to talk about why you have this fear of being enclosed, Mr. Thatcher?
No, I really don't.
An irrational fear like yours is usually rooted in a specific event. Perhaps it would help to talk about it.
Well, Doctor, take a guess then if you're so interested in my case.
Perhaps you were trapped or locked in somewhere as a child. The horror of war could have brought this memory back to the surface.
Are you joking? I grew up on a farm, had a bloody fantastic childhood.
Damn. I didn't realize that was a split. I should have paid more attention. I didn't notice the bottom option until I had already clicked another one. Damn it.
Goodbye, Mr.
Well, hold on. Actually, wait, talk to me again.
Evening, Doc.
Do you need medical attention?
Don't get me wrong, sir. I'm grateful for what you've done, but I've never felt comfortable with doctors.
I don't have a treatment for headache.
I will see you. Goodbye, Mr.
Bottoming. A lot of my viewers like doing that. Okay, let's do some figuring. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. Have I?
Hey, Doc.
Hey, man.
You're lucky to be.
Course.
We have Clay figured the fuck out. Hold on. It's time to kill. Let's see. Oh wait, no, is that a... Oh, we can really side shuffle, can't we? Okay, yeah, there we go. It got horny. Oh yeah, this game has some horny to it. I do like how the how this whole sequence goes. Though this will be the first person we've chosen to devour. Yeah, so Kev, one thing I really like about what Vampyr does is you get XP for drinking someone to death, but you get more XP if you've found out all of their personal secrets and lore and like done their quests. So even if you're being destructive, you are still encouraged to find out people and like do the content.
I killed, extorted, stole. Now I die. Fuck it. I live the way I wanted.
So that signature, the slashed O, is kind of like the U and hurts, like you're throwing up. Surin. Now, I feel like that actual bite could have been a lot sexier. $72. What do I currently have equipped? 65, 45. Awesome, yeah. Should caress his chin a bit before biting. Yeah, I feel like they really missed out on some yaoi here. And you know what? I think it's fine if you want to make your vampire bite not super erotic in its framing or its pose. Like, that's fine. I'm not angry about it. But here's the thing. They've already done it for this one, right? They we just took out Claycox and it wasn't very sexy. It was sexy to get him there, but it wasn't sexy to actually do it. Black Butler, let's go! This new season that they're doing right now is really good. I love how close they're sticking to the manga. They're sticking with all the Shotokan. It was great. But what I'm saying is, if they, if later I bite a female character, and that is somehow suddenly erotically posed, then I will be angry. You know what I mean? And we're gonna find out the hard way at some point, right? But like right now, I'm fine with it being kind of a I'm okay with it being a platonic bite as long as it's equally platonic, you know? Because here's the thing. One could argue that if he only bites women erotically, he's a heterosexual character. One could argue that. But I would counter argue vampires are always queer. Always. Vampires are queer by necessity. Queerness and vampirism are tied together in deeply in culture, and to have a strictly heterosexual, completely normie attraction patterned guy be a vampire feels antithetical to the very genre of a vampire story. Yeah, you can fucking quote me on that, Kev. The historians will rage. Historians will say, persuasively and rightly, that vampires are more directly a metaphor for the ultra-wealthy, the parasite class. But the thing is, as vampires more and more become a theoretical class that can only be themselves at night, in secrecy, and exchange fluids with each other at night in secrecy, they immediately become a symbolic metaphor for a queer community hiding from oppression. I need to give these losers their fucking Did I never reach the pharmacy? Did I never reach the fucking pharmacy? I didn't. Holy shit. I'm a historian? Oh! I didn't know that, Kirsa. That's nice. What is your era of specialty? What is your focus? I also want to get rid of my custom markers that I keep accidentally placing. The slaughter's on. I'd love to see you come undone. I don't... Whatever you're trying to communicate to me there, Kev, I don't know. Is it a lyric? Okay. Yeah, so unfortunately, I have audio processing issues, and even songs that I have listened to hundreds of times, I do not have a solid grip on the lyrics of. I have to look up the lyrics to a song. So I may have heard it before, I just don't know. Fuck, I'm stuck on geometry. Let me out! Let me out! Heh! Stupid. Woo! Oh shit. Fuck. This guy's an actual, like, fight. Okay, we fought someone with this moveset before. What did we do? What do we figure out? He warps, we dodge. Fuck. There we go. I was trying to remember my heal move. There we go. There we go. Okay, come on, do it. Do it, asshole. Fuck, fuck. Wow, okay. Okay. Also, I learned how some words are a no-no on the chat. Oh? I used to focus on modern contemporary history of capitalism. Ooh, that sounds fascinating. Oh, hey, this is good game design. Hey, this is good game design. They just put me right here where I can fight the guy again. Hey, welcome back, Maury. Fuck. Whoa. Okay. Give me the juice, give me the juice, give me the juice. Asshole. Okay, okay. Okay, sweet, I can battle sprint. I didn't even realize I could. Oh, but the way it interacts with lock-on is gross. Why do you throw at me? Why do you throw at me? I can't believe you've done this. Fuck. Okay, okay, okay. Oh my god. And that didn't even work. All right. Oh, and we have an ad break. I'll see you guys in a bit. There we go. Welcome back in. Hi. To answer your question, Kev, about where I got the idea for the footage. So basically, I decided that I don't like how the incentive to sub to a channel is basically to skip an ad break. Because, like, what if ads pop up while something cool is happening? I don't want people who can't afford to pay to miss something cool happening live. So, in the name of accessibility, I'm like, we're just gonna fucking stop doing whatever we're doing whenever a break happens. And that gives everyone time to go get water, go piss, go do something, including me. And I'm like, well, also there are gonna be people who are sitting around and people who did sub. So, how can I at least make things a little nice for them? And I'm like, well, the audience I'm trying to court are gay neurodivergent Shotacons. So, what do they like? Cocomelon. I needed keys to jingle to keep them entertained. So I thought of every single piece of like trashy internet time kill attention farming bullshit. Fucking Subway Surfers, marble races, slime videos, 1,000-degree knife videos, moon sand, the life hacks. I love putting on a life hack compilation and then putting it at double speed because those comps are already farmed and put at double speed, so they go really fucking fast and are just bewildering. And also, all of you are horny, worthless dogs, so we'll put on dog TV sometimes, TV for dogs, and it keeps them all in. Keeps them all in. Right, okay. So we need to handle the freak in this alleyway. I'm gonna use more of the tools. Dazzled Skull, HD Griffin. Really resistant to vampire abilities. Melee is the move. You're the only power. I'm a little trapped. I'm a little trapped. I am the mouse. Okay, handled. Now you. Woo! I would love to determine... Whoa, you asshole. Oh. Woo! Okay. Ha! Asshole! Okay, he doesn't have a lot of mobility with the axe. Woo! Out of blood, out of blood, out of blood, out of blood. Give me more. Give me more blood. Good night, Glum. Fuck. Come on. Yes. Haha. Fuck. No. God, this fucking combat zone is terrible. Woof. Ah, motherfucker! Got him! Whew. All right. Ah. Ordered by Dr. Thoreau Strickland, Pembroke Hospital. List of substances and ingredients. Lacrima papaveris, medical opium, sodium hypochlorite, and potassium permanganate.
Opium is one of the main ingredients of Strickland's medication. Never a good move.
Uh-huh. Duff, we gotta cook. Kev, do you want to do a collab sometime where we cook meth? Live on stream? I think that would be great. Fans of Breaking Bad will be riveted. And then we'll say some freak shit and they'll be scared. Bet, let's blow our faces up. Hell yeah, it'll be horny. Okay, this combat encounter is going to be interesting. Don't shoot. Okay, come on. I just need... Oh, wow. Cool, that can really... He can really close the distance if he wants. Got him! There we go. Idiot. Oh, Christ! Give me your fucking juice, loser. Oh, Christ!
Oh, Christ, Governor! There's a vampire out there! Oh, crikey, my juice! I took one too many sips of that there communion wine!
Sir, step away!
Absolutely terrible! Terrible!
This chat is not safe from Kev keyboard smash. I like your keyboard smashes. They're good for generating passwords. Hey, sometimes communion wine goes hard. Yeah, apparently there's some kind of Eastern European bread-based, butter-based bread that they like to dip in their wine and eat at part of communion, and apparently it rules.
I wish I could be sick again. Here again. Boil with the fever.
That does make sound like a little forest gnome. You want to hear a forest gnome?
Hello, it's me, a little forest gnome. Oh, I'm here to steal your giblets. Oh, man. Oh, look at me.
I don't know why I'm going into a Justin Roiland. Hey, look at me. Look at me. Oh, I'm the gnome. I'm the gnome and I'm here for your giblets. Oh, look at me. That's a fucking Justin Roiland-esque bit. Okay, let's see. I was giving shit to these guys.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland. And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
It's him. It's Spencer from Wizards of Waverly Place.
I located the shop, but it was vandalized, and the owner is missing. All I found was your order.
I was afraid of such bad news. People are so desperate they're ready to burgle a shop for drugs.
That's quite a list you ordered. Opium, sodium hypochlorite. It can't be just headaches you're trying to cure.
This dreadful influenza, of course. I already ran some tests on hopeless cases. Without success, I must admit.
Wow.
Realize you could create a lethal poison without the correct dosage. Then there are the legal ramifications.
Is this not true of any medical substance, Dr. Reed? However, if you would agree to improve it, I'd be glad to accept your help.
As long as you promise to be scrupulous with your experiments.
Ah.
I may try to gather these substances and even help improve upon the mixture.
That's all I'm asking for, Dr. Reed. That's all I'm asking.
Wow. How about those secret tests you run?
I want to know about these secret tests you run, and if they can save people from this epidemic. Speak to me now, Thoreau.
I know I may sound presumptuous, but I'm just following your steps, Dr. Reed. I'm casting away the shadows.
Oh, good night, Kev. Thank you for stopping in, hun.
Face them.
Self-confidence
Good morning.
is essential in our line of work, my young colleague, but only if tempered with the correct amount of cynicism.
Fine.
Never doubt yourself.
I'll take the hydrate.
I've read all your articles and books.
I do have water.
Performed the most daring research during the war.
Okay. You have my support.
You have my support, Dr. Strickland. I know exactly what it feels like to battle an unknown disease with only your mind and force of will to help you.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. You don't know what that means to me.
Okay, I'm still short a hint on him.
Do you need my medical attention, dear colleague?
You don't have to worry about me, Dr.
Oh, but he's ready to juice. Here's the problem, though. He's a doctor. Taking him out could really destabilize the situation up in here. I think I'll keep him on the back burner. Oh, besides, I don't even have a high enough mesmerize level. I can't get him yet.
Goodbye, Dr. I can't let Strickland put his patients at risk with opium. Perhaps an adjusted formula will deliver more of a placebo effect. Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
I want to check up on Fiddick's situation.
Is there anything?
I'm all right.
Oh, he's quite juiceable right now. He's actually a bit juiceable, isn't he? All right, Harvey. Time to get juiced. Oh, Christ, my juice! Frimble. 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 Get frimbled, idiot. What, it didn't work? Why didn't it work?
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
I wanted to get him. Here. There we go.
All I wanted was to go back to work, to take care of my children.
Hee hee. Frimble. Don't call me. Dunk on me. Okay, how about you?
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
I'm really behind on him. Come on, Morty.
How painful.
So painful.
I'll let you get...
But in...
Doctor.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Nothing new from you.
Tell me what...
We already had this conversation.
She...
Yeah.
Goodbye, Miss...
Frimble. The goal is to sip everybody. That would be a good goal for me. Okay, let's see. I need a sodium, a potassium, and 6 ferruses. Do I have those? Okay, I've got potassium. Sodium, I'm good. Oh yeah, I can make this. I can make this. Frimble. Okay, a headache cure would be great. Fatigue, cold, bronchitis, anemia, sepsis, and pneumonia. Nope. Get blood serum. Recyclable. Ooh. Sodium hypochlorite. Potassium permanganate. Yeah, I got that. Yep. And a ferrous tartrate. Right? I have to my medical desk. Is that not? Oh, here. It's a quest interact.
Project could be dangerous. I have a mind to report it to Dr. Ackroyd.
Okay, so I need to basically choose who I'm working with now. And it should be... Okay. So I actually already have all of Strickland's tips. So I should be joining Ackroyd now. So that way we can get him all ripe for the juicing. Thank you. For what? For what?
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
I know that you're a busy man, but...
For the bricks?
The great Dr. Reed honors me with a request. What is it exactly?
Dr. Strickland devised an experimental drug for the Spanish flu that he asked me to manufacture.
You know what I think of fringe medical experimentation?
That's exactly why I want you to keep the result, Doctor. I made sure it won't harm anyone, but I'd like you to take care of it.
I see. Put it in my cabinet. I'll give you the key. I'll make sure no one uses this medication by mistake.
I'll do that. Thank you for your help, Dr. Ackroyd.
Thank you for your trust on the matter, Dr. Reed.
Okay, okay. Excellent.
Thank you for your time.
Before I pitch that question to him,
We be sure we're making a difference.
I'm gonna go snoop around in his office now that I have the key. Hell yeah. Time to snoop.
It's locked, all right.
It's locked.
Now that Dr. Ackroyd has been warned, he should make good use of this formula. It's locked.
It's locked.
It's locked, all right.
It's locked. Ooh, medical file, Mr. Goswick. Mortimer Goswick, male, age 23. Okay. Patient shows many signs of extreme fatigue and major sores in the throat, mouth, and tongue, but no sign of flu. Refuses to speak, claims it's too painful. Needs rest and healing of throat mucous membrane before any decision can be made concerning his release. Got it. Well, now we got a lead on him to bother him with. I'm so excited. We suddenly, this decision opened up a lot of situations for us. Now, when I kill Ackroyd, I'm gonna get his key and be able to unlock a lot of junk in his office. Okay.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Yeah, but I have a personal question.
Do you think Dr. Strickland has any chance of curing the Spanish flu by himself?
His wish to cure the sick is not driven by pride, but by an idealistic view about our mission here. Honestly, I don't know which is worse.
You consider him a good practitioner, yet you will not report his methods.
Strickland may be a rival, but I will not use dirty tricks or regulations to prove him wrong. We are doctors, not politicians.
This dude has an interesting sort of belief system that I'm not entirely against. He's not. It's interesting. He's a. Listen. The Wizard of the Coast D&D alignment chart has a lot wrong with it, but it is useful for shorthand. I like the idea that this dude is a neutral, like a neutral good, in the sense that he almost even a chaotic good. Well, no. But the idea that like he's not lawful. He does not put a premium on the fact that there is a way things are done. Or maybe... No, that's not true. That's incorrect, Dove. He is lawful. He just has his own code. It's not the legal law he cares about. It's that he has his own principles and he clings to them like they are a mandate from God. And I think that's a really cool way to do a character.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, now we can go bother Morty. Who I think tried to kill himself.
Goswick, how are you?
I'm okay.
Your medical report says you're not affected by the Spanish flu. What do you think of that, Mortimer?
Does it make me happy? Not in the slightest. If it was up to me, I would have left this place long ago. I know I don't belong here.
And why do you think you don't belong here?
I know the staff have more important things to do than look after me.
Yep. He tried to take himself out.
Give patients here who need their attention.
He tried to self-unalive. That's how TikTok talks about it.
I have to go.
But in circumstances, I'm willing to give you... Good evening, Doctor.
Anything new? Anything new here? Your son is not dying.
I've read your son's medical report, Beatrice. It's not the flu or anything life-threatening. What has you so worried?
He was at death's door when he was brought here. I just want him to be better as soon as possible.
He's not out of the woods yet, you know. He might need to stay here longer than expected.
Take care of him then, Dr. Reed. People here only seem to focus on contagious patients. I worry my poor Mortimer will be neglected.
I like how the way that the characters animate in these games that are so dialogue heavy means they look like they all really gotta pee and are waiting for the conversation to be over so they can go pee. I think that's fun. Okay. I need to find out how to get a headache cure. She's like, nah, I'm not talking to you. Okay, so only wrong target is currently where is my accidental fucking, oh my god, there we go. I see it. A different thing I really enjoy is the time progression mechanic, making it so you want to sort of like do level ups in big chunks rather than whenever you can afford one. I think it's cool. Okay, so our goal, oh yeah, it's like through this gate, so we're gonna need to take care of the dudes up there. Level 18. I can handle him. I can handle him. Wow. Whoa. Okay, okay, cool. Oh. Concerning the recruitment of new boys in Whitechapel, I think I found one. Albie. He's as stupid as a stool, but tough. I asked him to prove to me that he could get some drugs for the black market, and delivered quickly and nicely. Next time we meet, I'll tell him he's accepted as a wet boot boy, and he must now meet the bosses to get his orders. Cool. Oh, Anshin and Yeva. Good morning. Hi, hi, hi. We're playing some Vampyr. New investigation for who? Right. Dorothy Crane is kind of operating Whitechapel for us. Albert has a medical condition that we need to handle. Two-person raid, and I appreciate it. Level 12. Hey! What the hell, Aaron? Okay, I can handle a level 12 and a level 10. Okay, so that skull was just kind of a big deal, but these ones I think I can handle. If I warp, will I be noticed? Ooh, I might not. What? What is that? What happened? Where are we going? I thought I was opening a door, not handling a loading screen. Abandoned investment property. Oh, someone in here is getting their shit frimbled. Okay, we need to save someone. Ah, stop it! Cadogan. Okay, there's a dude getting busted up by skulls. Oh yeah, I forgot you could rat suck in this game. That's convenient.
I cannot enter.
Rats suck. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm out of juice. I'm like, why is my spell not happening? Because I was out of juice. Get off of me, idiot! Fuck. Oh! There we go. Heh. Okay. Oh, I hope this doesn't kill him. Oh, it's gonna kill me. I'm down. Oh, and an ad break is starting. I'll see you guys in a bit. Oh, a hydrate. I'll get it. Welcome back in. Welcome back in. Quick question. I was playing music during that break. Was it audible? Ooh, come on. Get that corrected. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. I was just letting you know that me and Eva are looking forward to seeing what videos you've prepared for your stream. Thank you. Do you just mean like what I've queued up for the breaks? I hadn't realized they were getting so popular. Hold on. Is there still a rat around here? Okay. Stop. There we go. There we go. There we go. Hey, welcome in, Silver Cat Boy. I will bite your neck as soon as I'm done fighting these losers. Can't handle my vampire magic, idiots. Whoa, shit. That's not vampire magic, that's gravity. Are you guys... Are we... Oh, okay, it's on me. My bad. Okay, maybe just... There we go. I don't know why I use the dodge button when just walking in circles helps. Okay, now I can give you my full attention. Catboy. Come here. But seriously, welcome in. 3 silver? More like 3 copper is what I would pay. What? You want to fight about it? You want to fight? I may be a little medical bitch boy brat, but I can still get your ass. Oh no, is this one of the... We're in combat, but he doesn't seem to... Oh shit! Who? Okay, melee seems to be good. Ah! Nullified. He's immune to my spells. Was that victory? Did he teleport and die? Okay, we got it. Excuse you, I'm an expensive whore. Anything I want, I get for free, and that includes your boy meats. You will be on the vivisection table, and I will pick you apart, and I will put you in various Ziploc bags in the freezer for consumption over the course of a few months. Aw, Automod held a message. It thinks we can't say whore like that. There you go. How cute. How cute that Automod thinks we can't say whore in my channel.
What happened? Who are you? It's all right, sir. You're safe now.
Mm-hmm.
A fellow Englishman. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
For a moment, I thought those bloody heathens would kill me.
What are you doing here? This place is not safe.
Yeah, it's a cesspool, but it's mine. I came to collect some overdue rent. But those who still live here have gone completely bonkers.
You're very lucky to be alive.
Yeah, filthy immigrants.
Wow!
Every one of them. And now with this bloody fever, they're just animals.
You can find safety of sorts in Whitechapel. If you're quick and cautious, you'll be able to avoid the savages.
So this dude is a racist landlord. You ever seen someone more murderable than that? That's hard. It's hard to beat that. That's really, really murderable. Yeah, eat him. Can I get him now? Well, let me check his details. He's not worth a lot. If I were to cure his cold and then get him, I'd get some more XP. I'm gonna let him get to safety, and then that way I can start, like, ripening him up. But I'm not gonna spend a lot of time. Like, I'm gonna let him. I'm gonna let him get to where I can, like, do all the freebie shit, and then I'm gonna juice him for what he's worth. Cool. It's the middle of the fucking Spanish flu epidemic, and there's vampires running the streets, and this dude's like, "Where's my rent?"
I need someone who can read this.
A braille text. Were you here to extort rent from a blind tenant in the middle of an apocalypse? Finally, a fellow Englishman, biggest red flag possible. Seriously, the way my fucking... my body temperature increased when he said that, and then it kept increasing. Every time he said a new fucking paragraph starter. Just make extra sure we got everything in this zone. Finally, a fellow Englishman. He's not worth a personal killing, so we just throw him in an industrial meat grinder. Yeah, yeah. Between a vampire and a landlord, the bloodsucker is the landlord. Correct! Correct, Silver. Because, you know, a vampire pays for their blood with the just general horny vibe of taking the blood from you. When you pay rent to a landlord, there's nothing sexy about that. You're being extorted. You are being extorted and you're being exploited by a system of implied threats by the occupying army that is the police state that gives the landlord authority. And that's not hot. That's cringe. The police state says that I own the house that you live in. Words dreamt up by the utterly deranged. I see you know I do. I am a big fan of Brendan Lee Mulligan. He's a very charismatic and wise fellow. I don't want Doug to take the chance to absorb the racism. I'll have you know I am very racist. I am white.
Stupid beast!
Whoa! Whoa! I was just hanging. Leave it to cops. Woo! I am white, so I am inherently racist. Comes with being an American, unfortunately. One day I hope I'll get better. Idiot. Bro thinks he's hot shit with his Assassin's Creed blade. There we go. I do want to make it very clear here that when I say I'm racist, it's only because I am white and there's like inherent racism in that. I do not ascribe positively to any actual ideologies. that fall under that sort of umbrella. And I know this seems like weird sort of like Twitter protection redundancy, but I do feel that there is a responsibility of an influencer to make things very clear when something is not acceptable, because when you try to play and flirt and court that, there are some people who will take that as an in, if you know what I mean. Like I trust you, my chat, to know what I meant, but I upload my VODs, and I guess I want to take every opportunity I make for myself to make it very clear where I stand, which is pro-fic, pro-ship, pro-freak, pro-degeneracy, pro-kink, and woke. Yeah, you have to be actively anti-racist. Thank you, Silver. You can't just assume, because in presumption lies a passive silence that the filth and corruption of evil and hateful ideologies loves to sort of thrive in. It's how a lot of fucking YouTubers ended up having neo-Nazi audiences, you know? Because they just didn't decry that until they were too big and they realized, oh my god, I'm the Nazi bar. Okay, at least one of you got nailed by that. Okay, now, okay. Oh shit, come on. God, cops don't let anyone have fun, do they? Fuck. Okay. Ah, fuck. Yeah, you and I need to hop into VC because I'm going to talk about colonialism and how it leads to purity culture and fascism. Silver, preaching to the choir, babe. Preaching to the fucking choir, right? Listen, I have so many thoughts and feelings about the interconnectivity of racism, purity culture, fascism, and like quote unquote white culture, and how it ties into this toxic idea of professionalism. I hate professionalism with a passion, because I love being professional in the sense that there's a certain level of like respect that you give to an audience and a consumer base. But then there's professionalism in a workplace and in an office, and it's all performance, and it's all ritual, and it's all shibboleths, and it's all hate. It's poison. It's all fucking poison. In other news, this video game is pretty fun, but I have a complaint. And it's a minor design complaint. But it's kind of making some of these combats harder than they need to be. And it's basically this. The lock-on system, like all good lock-on systems, has a means by which you can swap the target you're locked onto. That's fine. And it's sort of based on this sort of left or right snapping, which is good. But the input is moving your mouse left or right. And the problem with that is that your mouse, left click and right click, are your two weapon attacks. And so while you're attacking an enemy, if you left click or right click a little hard and slightly bump your mouse, you suddenly switch targets, and your guy flips a hard 180 and is facing a different dude, and it throws everything off. Yeah, so when you click, it moves. Not always, but if you have a heated gaming moment, it's a little bit. It's interesting. Jean here, he feels weighty. He has a good sense of weight in his animations, but his focus is slippery, and that's not a good combination. It doesn't feel right. You fucking beast! John, take me with you. I'm gone, gone with the day. I know the feeling, I really do. The ground is crumbling from under you, oh John. Take me with you. Got him. My fucking face. My fucking face! Since this character's name is John, I'm gonna be singing that song just whenever the fucking neurons fire. You're welcome. It's a good song. Okay. What the hell am I here for? Right. It's John Vampyr. That's right. That's right. It's John Final Fantasy. Ooh. Large box of pills. Delicious. Eat them like candy. Have you guys seen that old PSA, the We're Not Candy PSA? You guys seen it? It's cute as hell.
We're not candy, even though we look so fine and dandy.
Wicked cute. Oh, hi. Do you think these men would be more willing or less willing to attack me on sight if I was not playing as John, but as me, Dub Bleeding Heart, a cute little Shota? A cute little sexy Shota. Report about Pembroke. 2nd November from Louis Cagney to Mr. Jeffrey McCullum. Oh, yep. This is regarding the surveying of Thelma. Maybe attack you in a sexy way? Yeah. Maybe. Oh, here we go. Sir, having observed the Pembroke Hospital for 2 weeks now, we can confirm vampire activity there. First, we now have proof of the presence of a female leech inside the hospital. The beast is clever. She acts like a mental patient to hide her true, unholy condition. I personally sneaked inside the hospital and heard the creature whining about her need for blood since her body is decaying. But it gets worse. The administrator of Pembroke Hospital is Dr. Swansea. According to our team leader, Amanda Tilton, who died yesterday in a fight against the skull by the canal, he may be a member of the Brotherhood of St. Paul. If that's true, then there may be something big going on at the Pembroke, maybe even a nest of vampires. Protected by those bloody traitors of the Stole? We don't know what to do, but we are convinced you better come quickly with reinforcements and heavy gear. Yeah, I'm happy we put a stop to this. Well, remember it being hellish to wear a stuffy-ass dressing shirt and a vest on top all day, especially during ceremonies out in the summer sun. Ugh, horrible. Use pre-win steak. I hit tab for the details, but it didn't give me one. Oh, we have a whole blackmail quest in this area too. That's good. Is it an actual weapon? Ooh, is it better than my own? More stun? Yeah, more stun. School dress codes are so dumb. Yes, they're absolutely dumb. And dress codes are they're such a powerful tool to be used by regimes. Hold on. Wear a mask can save your life. Spanish influenza. Yeah. They're such a powerful tool to be used by any regime that wants to pin control down, because it becomes a visual signifier of obedience and willingness to obey or willingness to defy. And likewise, and this is really big, it is one of the many ways that they subtly shift the position of responsibility. It is not suddenly not just the responsibility of the system to let its constituents know how it expects people to behave, but it subtly shifts responsibility of knowing the rules onto the students. And so suddenly, if a student isn't wearing their uniform correctly, it isn't a misunderstanding. All the other students figured it out. Why couldn't you? Suddenly, any misunderstanding or failure to comply is deliberate defiance in the eyes of the law. And like for a uniform, that's not necessarily a big deal, but it's a big step into sort of shifting that framing for other more important policy. If anyone ever tries to put you in a uniform, always raise an eyebrow at it, even if it's a workplace. Workplaces, of course, usually have much less sinister reasons. They just want to present a united front. But you know, never just let something happen if there's a good reason without first checking if there might be an ulterior evil reason snuck in there with it. It doesn't matter if they're serving you broccoli, it won't cancel out the poison that comes with it. This stream has been very anti-establishment, which is the general vibe of the channel, sure, but like I guess I'm kind of feeling very anti-establishment right now. You think it'd be wise to get like 2 of everything? Well, at least 2 of everything that I have ingredients for. This stream's gonna clip very nicely. Now, I know we're supposed to be able to sell this junk, but I kind of think I just want to break it all apart. You know what I mean? Let's do it. Oh, that brings back memories as a struggling student. They were very proud of their old-timey reputation as a vanguard of like good studentship, but they also refused to understand why a student was underperforming. Yep. But they just point at you and tell you how it's your fault. Hey, your other classmates can perform under these conditions. That means you are the bad apple here. Exactly, exactly. They use your peers to set an impossible standard, and then constantly raise that standard to the quote-unquote highest and most respectable peer. Until eventually they gain excuses to trim the chaff instead of help people achieve an expectation. If a vampire has an alternative agenda for guiding their actions, is that an arterial motive? Excellent, Blood Orange, excellent. You're the king of chat right now. Bite whoever you want in there. Oh, now that I've done a bunch of recycling, I can probably... Little bronchitis aid. Pneumonia. I'm gonna need some more permanganate for... Can I bank my bite for a later time? Nope, nope. Only one dog can be king of chat, and that only happens at a certain windows, and when it's gone, it's gone. Now I could rest, or I could go out and try to get more. I think I want to do that. Because we have this whole, hold on, we gotta do some rat sucking. Is there anyone down there I need to whack? Oh.
There's one of them.
Oh shit. Wish I would have noticed you. Woo! Woo! Wow! Heh. Woo! Whoa! That was kind of hot. That was kind of horny. Heh. Oh Christ! You're free juice. Haha. A drop attack right then would have been really cool. But alas. Alas. Little map check. I'm guessing this is the... I don't mean to do that. I'm guessing this is where the, yeah, it looks like the red buildings are where the... Well, no, maybe not. Because every zone's got to have a fucking central building. Actually, I shouldn't assume that. I shouldn't assume that. Maybe only 2 zones have a central building, and then the rest are sort of more dispersed NPCs.
More and more of these bloody leeches every night. Aye, but the guards recruit more and more every year.
Not a good place for a stroll.
Not a good place for a stroll. Idiot. Idiot. Oh my god. Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh, I hit his leash.
Oh my god!
Come on. This dude's fucking me up. Alright, alright, alright. Cool. Roger the wall. Hello, Roger. Woo! Ha-ha! More juice for me. Heh. Oh, they're repeating their convo. Peak game design, they're repeating their combo. Convo.
It's locked, all right.
It's locked, all right. I had a suspicion. That was correct. It's locked, all right.
I cannot enter.
Cannot enter. All right, looks like we're gonna have to Dark Souls this. Go around a certain way, unlock a shortcut. That's the vibe.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Oh. Oh, fun little box. Shotgun, shells. Can I use this hideout? I'm gonna go find that. Wait, what were we reading? Some kind of yaoi? Boy fucks a flytrap? Banger. Absolutely banger.
Fuck off, you ass.
Fuck you all! Fuck it all! Stop it now, Albert, stop it!
Woo! Someone got took the fuck out.
I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you're hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
I'm not gonna bugger off, but I will see you guys for after this ad break. See you in a bit. All right, welcome back in from the ad break, everyone. That's right. We have refused to bugger off. All right, this is Albert Palmer. Do we know this guy? Do we know this guy? Ah, okay, so we found the note about this guy. He just got recruited, but I think we killed the guy he's supposed to meet. The man you're looking for is dead.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
You know the risks.
This note was found on a dead man, Albert. If that doesn't change your mind, then you must be ready to face the risks.
You're all fancy words, none of which concern me. Go worry about someone else. I'm fine and I have a future here.
Ooh. No personal questions. Dorothy Crane.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. If she's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
Damn, all right, dude. I know what you're thinking with.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything, it ain't me.
All right. Perhaps the poor drunk just confused you with someone else.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. There was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said, sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
I've been told to sod off multiple times.
Do you need assistance?
Please. Feeling tired these days.
Okay, I can help you out with this.
There you go. Let's hope nobody steals it from you.
Very funny.
Okay. This dude's not going to be worth a lot. Hold on, is that a hottie I spot down there? Ben Palmer? Maybe when I meet him in person, he'll be a hottie. Alright, well, I'm outie.
Goodbye, young man.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
Son. You'll understand.
Oh, is this him?
What? Shooting a boy in the
Nah,
middle of the street.
nah.
Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer.
Shooting boys is fun. I like making boys do fellatio on a gun barrel.
Even you.
And you can take that to the bank. Oh, he is swaying. Can I help
You
you?
don't seem well, Benjamin. Do you need any help?
I always feel ill, sir. It's like I'm never right.
Migraine. Okay, I don't have migraine medicine.
I will see you later.
Tell me about the war.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctor's
Don't throw things at me after that.
put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
Skinny Elon Musk. Oh, don't be mean to him like that. Bro's been through some shit, unlike Elon Musk. You know they have silicone toys of all sorts? I'm certain they do. I'm not surprised. But Silver, why would I get a silicone toy when I can shove a revolver in a boy's mouth and make him whimper? I don't need silicone for that, I need steel. I need the cold certainty of steel.
Yes. Sounds like shell shock. I've seen a few cases like yours. This is nothing you should be ashamed of, Benjamin. And it's perfectly natural in your situation.
Not ashamed. I just need my pills. Peace and quiet, that's all.
Are you American? Definitely. You can tell I'm American because A, guns, B, I refuse to drink water when there is coffee or Diet Coke nearby, and C, actually no, I'm actually pretty good at geography as compared to my fellow Americans, but I'm not great at it on a global scale. Ah, fine, I'll hydrate. You're lucky I have water nearby. If you maintain your steel correctly, it tastes like oil. No, no. If you maintain steel correctly, it tastes like my approval. Silver, what the hell, man? Okay, shit. Is this gang up and bully the dove? Oh, fuck, stop. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna make myself a harder target. I'm gonna get further away. Ah! Look, I'm so far away now. Ah! Is this a message? Is this a sign? Am I supposed to be medicating? Jesus. Just making sure I have enough pills. Oh, you're so sweet.
Oh, you're such a sweet little puppy. You're such a little sweet puppy telling me to take my meds. Oh, you're so cute.
Chat, shrimp this fool. Shrimp this fool right now. Stop unionizing. It's cool to unionize when it's not at me. You're gonna make me go beast mode. You're gonna make me go fucking beast mode. Anyway, let's ask the dude why he shot a boy.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just frayed me last nerve.
Tell me your troubles.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills.
Ah.
Everything's coming up roses.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. Now I'm just Ben. Ben the Trap.
Wow. This guy's got some strong writing to him.
You don't have anywhere to go. No family that would welcome you.
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu.
Ah! Everyone thank Eve for the brief amount of time you're gonna get with my dead, limp body again, because now I need to refill my water. Respect my corpse. Lobster rock, lobster, lobster rock. Ah. Okay, I'm back. Ha ha ha. Okay, okay. So we were talking to this fucking dude. Shit, that was so quick. I have water nearby. I'm looking for Dorothy Crane.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. The woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
He just said that. So matter of fact, what the hell? Oh, she's not real. She's a cover for a discreet conspiracy. What's up with your bathroom grout? Okay, so Silver, here's the thing. At some point, some fucking funny guy thought that they would start spreading this rumor that the grout of my bathroom is filthy, when in fact, as I repeatedly tell people, it is quite clean, pristine in fact. And if people keep on insisting that it is not clean and pristine, I will grab them by the hair and make them clean it with their tongue.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
Me? I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley drinking words.
All right. Okay. There's a lot of angles to go. Let's check our map. There's allegedly a hideout through this intersection. You take a picture of you licking it as proof. You guys keep on asking for OnlyFans level content without paying an OnlyFans level paywall. Are you a person?
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous
Thank you for the bits, Aaron.
keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
I like Loretta. I like that she has scammer energy. I'll pay you, not with money, but I'll pay you. Hey, Silver? I'm not afraid to let chat know that you and I have just freshly exchanged discords. Whatever happens behind those closed doors, I will insist that it be unchristian. And that's all I will say. Oh, she's a merchant.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
The bitch has opium. Hell yeah. Ergotamine, more permanganate, codeine. I'm sitting on quite a few shillings. Do I have anything I want to sell to this bitch? I like how this cameo is junk. Okay, but we'll keep the pillbox because that can be components. Excellent.
Good evening, my dear colleague.
No personal questions.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
Is that where you got this one, babe?
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Well, we're gonna kill him as soon as we get him right, babe. Don't you worry.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
You gonna eat that dove? Eat what, hun? The flower?
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital?
Her? Maybe.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
So that was a weird little audio issue we just had.
Goodbye, Miss Swanborough. Perhaps we'll talk again.
If I asked nicely, would you eat the flower? I am not averse to finding out how a flower could go in a lovely summer salad with balsamic vinegar. You guys ever see that film Ice Age, the first one? And how there was an early bit where like two critters were like all about this dandelion, and then the sloth like shits on it or something. That dandelion convincingly looked delicious. Prevent disease, careless spitting, sneezing, coughing, and spread. Yeah. Don't cough in public. We know. Oh yeah, the two rhinos. Yeah. Aren't rhinos ungulates? That's fucked up.
This elixir will give you faith again.
Oh, we want to go up there. Okay. Oh, actually, wait. There was a hideout in this joint, allegedly. To my left. The dodos were classic. The dodos were absolutely classic. Is this a hideout or not? Oh, this might be the starting hideout. Yeah, I think this is the starting hideout. Made some drinks, some flowers a couple times, kind of like tea. Yeah, floral teas are a lovely, lovely experience. I am not against a chamomile, a chamomile, a chamomile, a chamomile. You can say words any way you want. I don't care. I'm crazy. I do like looting. Video games that let you loot things. It's good. It's a good feeling to just grab an item. It's a good feeling. I like how that safe wasn't even locked. I'm still short a lot of potassium permanganate. Okay, that lets us outside again. No, that lets us outside again. No, that lets us outside again. Oh, fun. Okay. So where the hell are we going? I have a tale to tell.
When science fails you, this elixir will give you...
I love her con artist vibes.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really?
Wow.
Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Interesting. Who else's bullshit am I involved with right now? Okay, so I need to turn in this quest to Thelma. Going back to the docks might be a good idea. I still gotta find out a headache cure. Ooh, Ben Palmer. His migraine's kind of really. And Cadogan's got a cold. Okay, Darius has bronchitis.
Nobody at home.
Ooh. What are you doing, Darius? There's Dorothy.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Oh, a poet. They let gay people in this game?
No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
I must talk to that journalist. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Everyone get hard. What, like a command? You there, boy! Piss yourself! That's what that feels like to me. I really would like fast travel. I think that would be great. Yeah, this is the main quest shit. And I'm wondering if, like, I just want to... I'm gonna detour. Actually. Aaron, you did not piss yourself. I'd be able to smell it if you did. Don't lie to me. Yeah, I kind of want to... What I'm gonna do...
Its effectiveness has been proven by many.
Piss Boy Supreme. Like Doctor Strange.
It's locked.
It's locked. Aaron decided as well, that's why there's no smell. I didn't know I had some piss connoisseurs in chat, aside from Aaron, the Piss Boy Supreme. Doctor Strange couldn't piss his way out of a paper bag? What a line. I am Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme. Look how hard I can piss. That's gonna be the like 30th Marvel movie. I was about to say 13th, but there are definitely 13 of them. But what sucks is that I said 30th, and I think there might actually already be 30 of them. Doctor Strange and the Piss Stone? Yeah, the Gallstone. Look how hard I can bleed version. That's for Vampire the Masquerade likers. Hold on. Oh, Christ.
Oh, Christ.
That was a sneeze that needed to happen. Thelma!
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
I have made inquiries about the men who were tracking you, Miss Howcroft.
I did not expect a mortal to have this sort of courage. Speak, Doctor. Why are they hunting me down?
It was a misunderstanding. These hunters were in fact looking for a very different creature, but they mistakenly put their sights on you.
I knew it. I have become undone. Those hunters have discovered me, but they don't know what I'm capable of.
If you'll accept some advice from a petty mortal, I think you should assume a low profile and just quietly disappear into the shadows.
You are right. And you have served me well, mortal. Take this as a reward for your time. Perhaps I will allow you to drink deep of my blood. One day.
Thank you. I'll keep that proposition in mind.
I suggest we give her blood. So she's already having some really nice heterosexual yowie with the burn victim over yonder. She's getting blood, don't worry.
Tell me, Thelma, what do you really know about vampires?
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I saw his terrible wounds heal as his victim died. And then I knew I was saved.
You mean you actually saw a vampire? Here in London?
Yes. And it has been the answer to my pain. I must drink and kill to regenerate my decaying body. I am a vampire too.
Ah.
You have no idea what problems your claim could cause if heard by the wrong people, Miss Howcroft. You must stop this nonsense now.
No, that's not how I meant that.
Strange things live in the dark, Dr. Reed. Strange and ancient beings that were here before this island even had a name.
Fuck. I meant for that to be more supportive. But she's at 2k XP. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. I love this character so much. I don't want to fucking get her. And likewise, I don't want to get her boy toy either. Elwood. I think these two are going to be spared. Do I have a headache remedy? Or I think I'm still kind of behind on that. Inventory. Cold, fatigue, bronchitis, sepsis, anemia. Damn it.
I'll leave you.
Yeah, Girly Pop is fine. I'm not gonna bother her. Let's see here. The doctors and nurses I kind of want to let hang. But these patients I do want to fuck with. My actual mission right now is I'm going to run to the docks. Because there's a lot of people to meet. There's some people who need medicine. And a lot of people who need frying, you know? So we're going to... Let's see. Yeah, just right down here. Oh, someone give Thelma a pen. So we're going to see her draw her vampire persona. Yeah, absolutely. Draw yourself. And she's going to draw a VTuber. Hold on, wait a minute. Is Harriet a character in the... Wrong. Is Harriet a character in the hospital I can actually fuck with? Pippa, Milton... So Harriet can't be sipped. Interesting. Yeah, currently it looks like the way this game's gonna play out is the only survivors are gonna be Thelma and her boy toy. Everyone else is gonna get juiced one way or another. Because I respect, when the Hets can pull off Yaoi, I gotta respect the grind. Okay, I've actually already been this way.
It's locked, all right.
It's locked, all right. Ha! Idiots! Woo! Haha! I was not ready for the fall. Too blind to see the writing on the wall.
You'll pay for that!
Haha! I want to see Thelma in different vampire trademark type outfits. Honestly, she would fucking like slay in like a high collar Dracula cape, and I'm not even joking. I think she would look badass like that. Okay, so I just want to scope out the situation in the docks. Cute ass Ikemen. Oh, that's cute. Woo! Pretty resistant to melee and range, this one, but magic does good. Oh shit. Ad break is happening. See you guys in a second. Okay, welcome back in. I believe we were dead in the middle of a combat, so this is gonna be fun. Wah! Yep, okay. I'm out of stamina. Woo! There we go. Munch. Crunch and munch. This fucking stupid ass. Hey, who the hell are you?
Good evening, sir.
Who the fuck are you? Don't you see I'm busy here?
Dr. Jonathan Reed, that's who I am. And who are you?
Ah, some fancy gentleman we've got here. Clear off. We don't want strangers on our streets.
So you won't tell me your name, then?
The name is Booth Digby.
Ah, we've heard of him.
Boys to break one or two of your bones, just so you remember it.
Do you need medical help, sir?
I feel fine, Dr. Reed.
Okay, cool. He's willing to tell me that. Yeah, we gotta figure out a lot of people in the docks.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
Things ain't that bad, thanks to us. We give people what they need.
Oh, yeah?
We control this borough.
Well, you're not doing a very good job. People are still dying here like everywhere else.
Yeah, well, we can't be everywhere all the time. And Edwina says if we could find more guns, we could be more efficient.
More efficient? Really? You should probably tell Edwina that guns are useless against diseases and infections.
Incredible. You know what? You're lucky she can't hear you right now. She's more smart than patient. My sweet queen of the docks.
Oh, he has a MILF queen.
Are you some kind of vigilante patrolling these streets at night?
Something like that, but the police aren't in charge here. We are, see?
So you're a concerned criminal, is that it?
Using funny jokes about me and my boys, are you? Fuck. You must have some balls.
I saw many men like you during the war, Mr. Digby.
Oh.
Greedy little cockroaches who feed on despair.
I could kill you for saying that. But, nah. You've been a soldier. I can respect that.
Weird. Okay. Interesting sort of belief system he's got that we're seeing a glimpse of.
So, tell me about your gang, then.
What? Have you got a death wish? You really want me to answer that?
Well, yes. You seem so proud of your status. Why not tell me who you're working for?
Oi! I'm the boss, all right? The Wet Boot Boys work for me.
Wow.
All of them. Situation round here is better than other districts because of us. Because of me.
Cool. Tell us about your girly pop.
Well, you're not more of...
Okay, so it was a hint on Edwina, not on him. Well, have fun shooting the wall, dude. I like that I'm getting XP just for meeting people, too. That's cool. Okay.
The sewer dog's fault, they say. Then the gangs, the epidemics,
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. May I ask you a few questions?
Who are you? What do you want?
Ah, this is her. This is her herself.
From the Pembroke Hospital, actually.
The Pembroke Hospital, you say? I ain't paying any bill left by Clay.
I'm not here to collect payment, miss.
Miss Edwina Cox. So what do you want then? Fancy buying something from me, maybe?
Oh, you're a merchant. Cool.
Ooh, Digby looks at you with love-struck eyes. Tell me, Edwina, is the feeling mutual?
You have no idea how refreshing it can be for a woman to receive all the pleasure she needs. For once.
Whoa.
I'll take your word for it.
What is it, Doctor? A woman's not supposed to talk about these things.
I'm not that easily shocked, Miss Cox. You can speak freely about your lover if you so wish.
The poor bastard is good to me, if you must know.
Uh-huh.
He makes me feel good. And that's a first.
So you're just like any other couple, after all, are you not?
Yeah, we're so ordinary that I'd put a bullet in his head if he ever cheated on me.
I love her. Edwina. What a good character.
You still use your husband's name, Edwina. Why is that?
Why shouldn't I? He may be a bloody bastard, but I'm still his wife and his name means something round here.
You never paid him a visit at the Pembroke Hospital, did you?
And I don't intend to. In Clay's case, I'm not against a medical mistake or a little help from the Spanish flu.
Well, she'll be happy to know I murdered his ass.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
You can't trust anyone around here. As soon as you lower your guard, you can be sure some arsehole will take advantage of you.
You sound like you're thinking of somebody in particular.
Take the gravediggers of Southwark. They must pay me every week, but it looks like they forgot who gave them permission to steal from the dead.
Looting corpses in a mass grave. That's...
This game rules!
...is a new low.
Whatever. Hey, since you're a doctor and all, maybe you can access that forbidden area and remind those bastards what they owe.
I'll do it, girly pop.
Really? Don't you think that's a little bit excessive?
Bastards, all of them. This region only responds to violence and threats.
I love her.
What can you tell me about your work?
I'm a businesswoman. I buy and sell things, and I send my wet boot boys after anyone who don't play nice with me.
Gang member and shopkeeper. Can't be easy running double shifts.
If you're interested, I may find use of a doctor who can freely walk across the city, you know.
You're quite blunt, aren't you?
I like people who know what they want and say what they think. This is a time of great opportunity for those ready to embrace their destiny.
I'm not interested in a career in the criminal underworld, Miss Cox.
Fair enough. Stay away from us then, if you don't want to get hurt or worse.
Since my return from the war, I don't feel that concerned by threats, knives, or even bullets, if you must know.
That's exactly what that stupid trade unionist claimed after he attacked one of us. Booth and I reminded him a bullet beats words every time.
Oh, man. What a character, gang!
Tell me about the man you and Booth killed, Edwina.
The bastard killed one of us and received retribution. There's nothing else to say.
And your conscience is clear. You kill without hesitation.
Violence is an efficient tool, Dr. Reed.
She gets it.
Properly.
She gets it.
Decide who lives and who dies, just like that.
Yes, Doctor. Just like that. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm saying it's my way of dealing with troublemakers.
Ah! Gang, This might be the first straight bone in my body. Edwina's going right up there with Maleficent. Huh.
What happened exactly?
I don't know, and I don't care. One of ours was killed by that communist bastard.
Oh, never mind.
Didn't brag for long.
So you have no idea what really happened, but you executed him anyway.
No one messes with the wet boot boys, Doctor. This is our territory, and this is our law.
She's anti-union. Never mind. Gang, scratch it. Scratch it. She's anti-union. I love a bad bitch, but she's anti-union, so she's on the menu again.
Can I see what you have to sell?
As long as you have money, I'll show you all I have.
Flew too close to the sun. Yeah, it was looking too good. It was looking too hot. What does she even sell? Well, lots of parts and materials. It was nice talking with you, ma'am. I'll be devouring your blood soon. Okay. I mean, these two are pretty close to where I need them to be.
I must look a fool. Heartens me to know you can't see me, my sweet queen. Perhaps we should have listened to what the idiot had to say first. You again. What do you want?
Tell me about the man you killed, Booth. What happened?
One of us had been killed, so we had to retaliate.
Uh-huh.
The whole story.
There has to be more to it than that.
No, really, one of us got killed, so the killer had to die. That's how things have always been done round here. No one gives a shit.
Are you so heartless that you could pull the trigger and kill someone without even blinking?
Have you looked around recently? Do you really think one more body will make a difference?
Do you know Edwina suspects you to be unfaithful?
Edwina's the one who asked to be called Mrs. Cox, even though Clay hadn't touched her for such a long time.
You have not answered my question.
She's a passionate woman. I've no doubt she'll shoot me down if I ever betray her, but that's not going to happen. I love her as she is.
That's how you all feel about me, right, chat? If I hear you bowing down or saying yes, sir, to any other young boys, you're dead.
Goodbye, Mr. Digby.
I'm a passionate boy. I am your queen of the docks. Oh, good night, Yeva. Did I accidentally toggle walk? Good night, Anshin. Okay, yeah, I did. But I figured it out. Okay. Yeah, so I want to track this. The idea being, oh wow, we can really go hard south, can't we? But we gotta like cross here. Oh, is this that? This is that bar. Perfect. The first people we met in the game.
Evening, miss.
Well, I never. That's a first. Customers who make that much mess rarely come back. Never mind in fancy togs.
I'm much more myself than when we first met. By the way, I'm Jonathan, Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Welcome back to the Turquoise Turtle then, Doctor. I'm Sabrina Cavendish. How can I help you?
I'm back. How do you feel about your boss?
Sabrina, tell me about your true feelings for your boss.
I love Tom. I'm not ashamed of it. Don't care if the customers joke about it, neither.
Who's mocking you, girl?
Who's mocking you?
I mean, we're always together. People will talk, won't they?
Does Tom love you?
Yeah, but he's always reluctant to take it further. It's not because I'm younger, or because of the colour of my skin. He hates jokes about us.
Interesting. Where are you from?
Excuse my curiosity, but where exactly are you from, Miss Cavendish?
Something bothering you? What, my name? Or my complexion?
Sorry if I worried you.
I'm sorry if I worried you. I was just curious to find out if you know this part of town well.
Nosy. My dad was a sailor from Bombay, and my mum was a maid born up in Glasgow. They got married in London. And here I am.
Believe me, I never judge someone on their place of birth or the color of their
You want a medal, John?
True, you'd be one of the few not to make fun of me. Just you, Tom, Dyson, Miss Fishburne, and of course Mr. Hampton.
Sam, where are you from?
This place seems, how shall I put it, very colorful. I'm sure it has plenty of stories to tell.
We get people of all sorts here. It's that rare place in the docks where you can have a drink without being murdered. At least it's not happened yet.
I'll fix that.
Your boss must be quite the negotiator to force such an agreement.
Yeah. Tom's a great bloke. Mr. Hampton, who runs the night asylum, he's the only other man that's able to keep peace around here.
Night asylum, that's good.
So this bar is neutral territory then?
Tom's convinced this is something the locals need. No one ever draws a weapon here. That's one of the reasons I accepted the job.
That's cool.
What can you you look concerned.
This is a bad borough. Most people I know are afraid. Most locals will rob you blind, or worse. You best mind your step.
No one feels safe? Why not go then?
If you're uncertain about your safety here, the docks might not be the right place for you.
I got responsibilities. And it's not like I got the money to move anywhere else anyway.
Goodbye.
Hehehehe. We've learned a lot.
Shut the turquoise for a time.
Good evening, sir.
Whatever.
Whatever.
We met a few nights ago.
Don't take it personally. I spent a lot of energy forgetting what I did the night before.
Yes, you had definitely drunk too much then as well. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I'm Dyson Delaney. I'll try to remember you. This time.
Surely you must have had dreams and expectations.
I love rocking up and asking people really personal shit.
Sure. I wanted things to change. To really change. And to change for good. The bigger the dream, the harder the fall.
Do you really think the world is that bad?
No. I believe we all can choose to make it better. But most of us are too weak. Too corrupt and too guilty. I failed for sure, but others will come.
Just gotta dig right into their necks, honestly.
Sounds like you're an idealist, which is honorable.
No, sir. I was an anarchist and I believed that exclusive property is a robbery in nature. I wanted a new world to rise from the ashes, Dr. Reed.
Interesting. He's just spilling everything.
I want to know more about your past as an anarchist, Dyson.
I'm still an anarchist, Doctor. Make no mistake. I just reject violence as a tool to change the world, unlike my comrades.
Interesting. So, that's code for coward. Everyone spills all sorts of things around you. I think, like, it's unclear to me whether when I make a choice and like the thing goes echo and he like yells, I'm unclear if that's like a vampiric mesmer.
Do you believe in a bloodless revolution, then?
I do not believe in much anymore, Doctor. But I'll admit I like your idea of peaceful change. I like it a lot.
Do you still see your comrades, then? Even if you don't agree with their methods anymore, I mean.
No. I hope they'll come to share my point of view one day. I'll raise my glass to that splendid idea.
Was not expecting this pass for this guy.
Is there anything in particular that you like about this part of town? Except for the cheap drinks, I mean.
How dare you say such a thing? I love this neighborhood. So friendly. So joyful.
Why are you so cynical?
Cynicism is the polite way to express despair, Doctor.
That's a good line.
No reason at all to rejoice, then? Life is hopeless and then we die, is that it?
Let me tell you a story.
All right.
Fine.
Go on.
A few years ago, when I believed a resolute man could change things around here for good, a tragedy occurred nearby.
What kind of tragedy?
It was a bomb.
Ooh.
Bomb that exploded and killed many people. Metal and blood everywhere. Shouts. Fire. Broken window of the shoe shop. Night.
You lost people you loved that day, didn't you?
I've lost everything. But you know what the worst part is? I don't even remember where it happened. I've drunk so much to forget it. And now I can't remember where it was. I can't pay my homage to the dead.
I'm sorry, Mr. Delaney.
It's okay. If you ever find the place, just leave a flower for me there. Even if you tell me where it is. I'm not sure I'd memorize it.
What a sweet request.
What do you do?
I drink.
Don't you work at all?
I'd love to, but I don't have the time. Didn't I tell you? Drink in the morning and at noon. I'll drink at night.
Why do you drink so much?
Maybe it's because I prefer dying slowly. Death can be so abrupt. Personally, I like to see mine coming at my own pace.
You sound very sad, sir.
Because I am Doc.
Bro is not good, and he knows it.
Is there... No...
Let me tell you.
Another time.
Okay, cool.
Goodbye.
Mr. Delaney, we have felt out his dialogue tree. But this is the money pot right here, this guy.
Good evening, sir. How are you tonight? Back to the docks, are we?
You remember me then?
Of course I do. You're that man who seemed so lost when he entered my bar a few nights ago.
Thank you for your hospitality. I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way.
I'm still Tom Watts. Welcome back, Doctor.
Sabrina seems very fond of you, Tom.
I like her too. I really do. I know I'm her boss, and I'm much older and all. But I like her for sure.
What is bothering you then?
Sabrina is an angry one. She wears it like a coat.
Ah?
I'm not sure I can make her shed that anger. It hurts to see her like that.
She's full of rage. That's not what I expected. That's a really cool adulteration to this sort of dynamic.
Why does your waitress feel in danger working on the docks?
This part of town is dangerous for all, but for women it's worse, as always. Sabrina is a brave girl, but she can't help feeling in danger.
Do you think she has good reason to feel this way? Are you not worried about her safety?
Of course I am. The truth is, she's tougher than me deep inside. She just has to learn to control it.
Wow, I love that Sabrina's got a rage problem. This is cool.
How is it you can keep this place open? This part of town doesn't seem particularly safe.
Well, since everybody needs a drink, my pub is considered neutral ground by most groups.
You're something of a figurehead around here.
I'm only pouring alcohol for everyone to forget their troubles. Sean Hampton is the one giving them long-term hope.
Okay, cool.
Since I'm here, is there anything I can do?
Well, perhaps, Doctor. Peace partly depends on my stock of gin. With the epidemic, my supplies are running low.
How could a physician help you in this matter?
I have a small warehouse just past the quarantine line. Perhaps, with you being a doctor, you could go there and come back?
Doctors aren't immune to disease, you know. Very well. Show me where it is. I'll see what I can do.
Oh, thank you, sir. Here's the key to get in. You're about to save many dry throats.
Awesome. New dungeon. He's probably the safest person there. It's a bar in the bad part of town. Yeah, for real. This dude is keeping everyone sane.
I see. So you get pressure from all sides about how this place should be run, do you?
Well, something like that. Nothing that a few wise words and a bottle of gin can't solve.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
It's not that bad. Thanks to people like the sad saint of the East End.
Who?
Sean Hampton, our own private holy figure. Few are foolish enough to make peace with the gangs. Sean is one of them.
All caught up. I feel horribly conflicted after that. Yeah, Borderlands has been going a direction. I'm not surprised that it would leave a fan conflicted.
I cannot enter.
It's pretty much Destiny. Oh, that's bad.
So few clients. What with the epidemic, no one dares go outside.
I'm gonna say something so bold and controversial. Borderlands 3 was lame. The best Borderlands is pre-sequel. Okay, I want to check out this dungeon. Duff, I agree. Hell yeah! Hell yeah, Eve! Skills are specific to action skills. You have a drone. You can summon a vehicle anytime. There's 4 zones. Oh, yeah, they're doing a Destiny. It's up above. Hello. Idiot. I don't like how good it looks. Did they sacrifice a lot of stylization?
Tom has so much alcohol, he could keep this district afloat for quite some time.
Alright, now give bonuses to manufacturers, specifically so mediocre weapons become better. Interesting. Yeah, I love pre-sequel's Oz kits mechanic. And the mobility in pre-sequel feels so good that playing another installment that doesn't have Oz kits makes me feel so limited and gross. I can't play Borderlands 2 anymore because I feel like I'm glued to the floor. Grapple hook, double jump, gliding, we call it wall climbing. Okay, okay. This is promising again.
Welcome back, Doctor. What can I do for you?
You lied to me, Tom. Your warehouse wasn't empty. It was inhabited with armed vigilantes.
I'm sorry, Dr. Reed, but I thought those Prewen guards would be willing to let someone like you pass without trouble.
That was devious of you, Tom. Next time you can bloody well go yourself.
I apologize, Doctor, but it's just that I prefer to avoid the law,
Ooh.
and all manner of thugs in uniform.
That's wise.
There was nothing left in the warehouse. The new owners must have helped themselves to the supply.
Fair enough. I guess it was a long shot. I just hope those drunk bastards didn't give you a hard time.
No.
Goodbye, Miss.
Once again, the fucking... Ugh. Story seems to be better than 3, which we can all ask for, really. Not like it's a low bar. Okay, okay. I want to run back to the western docks and see if I'm missing any funny guys. It's locked.
It's locked.
It won't open. It's locked. Oh, can I open this? Yeah, that's nice and fast. Jammed. Come on, I had a clean angle.
Watch yourselves! There's one of them! Murdering bastard!
Haha. There we go. Rattle 'em, boys!
I see them fancy clothes! This one's a top! Look at it! Gone up like king! Filthy piece of shit!
Unhand me. Woo! Got him. Oh, did the other dude die? I didn't even notice. Just call you a top. This one's a top! Ha ha.
Doesn't like fire, does it?
I do love killing. Right, okay. Locked? Really? Okay. Ad break. See you guys in a bit. Hey, welcome back into the final stretch of our little stream. Let's see if there's any more funny characters we can find and meet and harass. Maybe murder. Maybe kill and murder. Because it looks like we actually can't fuck around in the Western Docks without a key of some variety. How about this? Is this something we can do? Oh, that's also... Okay, so Southwark is where we need to go. Pardon. I don't intend to toy with you right now. Oh, well maybe I do. Whoa, hold on now. Whoa! Lots of little motherfuckers around here. Wow! Give me my juice back. Yeah, the Blowjob Brothers extended family. Well done. More juice, please. Thank you. Excellent. Cool. And this is the boat ride we took to the hospital. A little I can show you the world moment. The North Docks of West End. I would love to go over there. That'd be cool. Ah. That's some spooky Bloodborne shit. I'm into that. Haha. Gotta top off the old juice. You know how it is. Okay, okay. And now we can just follow this. Pardon. No, fast travel is an interesting decision, and I'm kind of enjoying some of the results of it, but I'm also finding frustrations afoot. Fine.
Fuck, he's dead!
Okay, okay. Messy. Messy, 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 but we got him. Oh, that guy just has a blade on him. Yeah, those fucking larger dudes, they have a full Assassin's Creed hidden blade. Because they think they're hot shit like that. I would love to be able to get up there.
It's locked, all right.
It's locked. Gang, it's fucking locked. I don't know what to do. I feel I am boxed in. Like Dove's pussy stitches. That's right. It's locked. If only that scamming cat was here. Yeah, Grisabella wouldn't be stuck like this. Grisabella would know what to do. It would be great if we could blink. Yeah, wow. Crazy. I'm gonna have to run through all of West End. Hold on, have I... I'm gonna try using the game's stealth mechanics. Excellent. Door has been unlocked. Oh shit, okay, that's the warehouse that we were just in. Same with this. Okay, those are Dark Souls doors. That makes that a little bit easier. I'm really interested in the flavor text of that explosion mist thingy. Let's see, this one? Place a cloud of shadows at the target's feet, or yours. The cloud will explode after a short time, causing heavy damage. There's your flavor text. Warehouse, don't go in there when the moon is full. Hey guys, remember Monster House? That game fucking... That game did fucking rule. But no, the movie ruled too. I did play the licensed Monster House video game, and it was surprisingly good.
It's locked.
Ooh. I'm fucking lost, gang. I'm gonna have to cross back to the western docks just to fucking... I think I am. What kind of bozo designed this layout? What kind of bozo thought this was a good idea, bozo? Right? So now I can... Okay, well there's a hideout there. If this game was polite, it would allow me to fast travel between hideouts. Not enough for any of that. Oh, we can recycle all this. Beautiful. Can I open this? No, that's locked. This is where they called me a top, which was wrong. And then I think I flit over. Yeah. I gotta go through here and then flit over. And then I'll be back in the... Would you like a muffin? I'm not really a fan of muffins in general. Oh, if they're orange, that's different. If they're citrusy, I love a citrus muffin. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm gonna get to this hideout. Excellent. Let me check my citizenry. Enid Gillingham has some kind of disease. Dyson has fatigue. Do I have a fatigue cure? I don't have a headache cure. Or a migraine cure. Or a cold cure. But I will cure Dyson's fatigue. Oh, those are the Coxes. Where's the fucking bar? I don't know where the bar is. To be fair, your axe cures a lot of things. That's true. I'm not trying to get into combat right now. I'm trying to find a place. Ah, whatever. I'm out of here. Wait, no, hold on. It's right there. Yeah, okay. Doubling back past these fucking combat boys. Yeah, back out the gate. Down this way. These two are yapping. Here we go. This is the bar.
Good evening, Mr. Inebriation aside, do you need medical help?
Yes. I feel sicker than usual these days.
Here.
Take this, then. And perhaps you could try to slow down the alcohol intake, too.
Hey, Doc, you don't really want me to stop the only remedy I can afford.
Goodbye.
There we fucking go, baby. And you know what? Gang? This, to me, is a good stopping point. We're at basically the end of our stream time slot, and it's been a good little time. So thank you all so much for coming, and good morning. And I'm gonna see if we can open up our raid browser. Aaron, what the fuck, man? I'm trying to see you all off. Kobold! Can I never have a lick of respect, a modicum of regard? Ah! Stop it. Okay, let's see. Listen. He's huge and he does not need the help. But I'm gonna show you guys a VTuber that maybe some of you have not heard of. His name is Shoto, and he's the one who got me into this whole fucking subculture. So we're gonna raid into him. And he probably won't even notice because like he probably has the thing up where like if we're under a certain size, it won't ping him. But yeah, this is a boy who I want to kick in the ribs so badly because I know he'd make cute little whimpering noises. Oh fuck, I forgot to actually hit raid. Following. There we go. Why is it not working? Uh-huh. Perhaps he has raids turned off. Maybe. I don't know why it would give me the option as a thing. That is a thing that people can do. I just don't know why the browser is letting me even see it if he has them turned off. So instead... Oh fuck, Kit's on. I'm gonna send you to that fox boy that I like. Will that work? That worked. Yeah, okay. Maybe Shoto has his raids off, but I recommend him. He's cute. Anyway, gang, thank you all so much for coming, and good morning.